is Rowena Dooley asking Sol citizens to report for duty. Dooley asking Sol citizens to report for duty.
Pow! I didn't wait for the bam. Anyway, hey, what's going on, everybody? Griffin Gaming RPG. Griffin Gaming RPG. I'm not getting it together today. I didn't wait for the bam. I didn't push the button. I am here today. It's Saturday. Welcome back to Soul Voices. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Man, so much stuff has been going on. There's been a lot of great conversations about all the great things going on in the community. We got some a teaser for the upcoming IAE, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but we are definitely going to cover some things as we always do each week from Spectrum and from Reddit, and hopefully you guys will come in and join me. You know, this is our one-on-one talk show. You guys get to come in and talk with me directly, share with your thoughts with the community, and have a good time. So for the next hour and a half, hopefully we'll be able to do that. Pardon me. I'm trying to get my throat together. Title of today's show is Jax is dead? ? Is Jax dead? We're going to find out what you guys think about that too. That kind of came out of nowhere. I've been saying that I expected something to come up with Jax at the IAE, at CitizenCon or IAE, and that was not what I was expecting to hear. So we're going to get you guys' thoughts on that a little bit later too. So why don't we go ahead and get things started and go to what's going to be our first piece from Spectrum. As you guys know, we pull our information from Spectrum and from Reddit and from the gaming industry, but today it's all going to be from Spectrum, and then I got a thing that we're going to talk about from CIG. So let's get ready to hop into it. Very first one, let's see. This one is titled Too Much Tedium, Too Much Scope Creep by Thermonuclearwar. I'm assuming that that's somebody who probably watched War Games, and that title is kind of stuck with them over the years. I don't know. War Games is kind of an old game, so old movie, so I don't know how many of you guys have ever seen War Games, but if you're a geek of the utmost title, you probably have seen War Games. But I know we've talked about this subject of feature creep before, but it seems like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like people have kind of been moving from using the term feature creep to now it's about scope creep, and I'm really curious to see what you guys think about this whole thing of, you know, is there such thing as scope creep, and if it is, does it happen with Star Citizen? I've got my own thoughts about it. I'm not going to delve too deep into it. I'm going to hear what you guys have to say, and then I'll jump into it and give you mine. But I'm going to put the link here in the chat. Hey, Admiral Kusanagi, I see you here today. Thanks to see you. One of our mods is here. I just put the link in for this. It's not going to come up on the screen because it's kind of a long post, and it was just a lot to type in. So I'm not going to put all that in right now, but I do want to read it to you. Again, he says, this is from Thermonuclear. Too much tedium, too much scope creep. I've been a backer for a while, but I don't care to keep up with the day-to-day, month-to-month, and year-to-year of the development. I just poke my head in every so often when it looks like the progress has well finally gotten somewhere. Then I take a look around at the progress. For example, I haven't played since 2020, and they're crashing. It's not spelled correctly, and they're crashing every 5 to 20 minutes on the PU. I can see things have gotten better. However, the tedium, quote unquote tedium, aspects of the game have skyrocketed a lot, I feel like. Maybe it's just me. I get the devs and players want a realistic game, but when does realism take it too far and just have too much tedium? I think a lot of players and the devs should really sit down and think, is this aspect actually fun? Or will this get obnoxious after having to do it like 10, 20, 30 times down the line? The other thing that really needs to be brought up, the company has raised so much money and hasn't pushed a single finished project, and that is literally insane. It still baffles me how the studio continues to sell the access to ships that aren't even out yet. They're just concepts, not even halfway through development. If you buy all of the ships prior to the game release, what's the point in playing the game? You have everything already. There's nothing to look forward to. How long can the studio and fans keep this up? As the studio gets more and more money, their production scope seems increasing, and at some point it has to stop, right? At this point, releasing a game would actually hurt the bottom line. In other words, getting money. I already know I'll get a lot of flack in the comments from the diehard fans that have thrown their entire life savings at the game, but something needs to be said. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot there, and so we've already got some folks who are jumping in to share their thoughts. So we're going to go ahead and bring you guys in and see what you have to say. Let's bring I think Red Baron got here first. I really couldn't tell this time between him and Pops. I know usually they have a tie between the two of them, but we're going to bring Red Baron in. Red, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, good. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to hear you, I should say.
Yeah, indeed. Maybe sometime we will see each other at an
maybe
at a Star Citizen Con, for example.
Well, listen, I'm planning on the next time it's over in Europe. I'm planning on trying to go. So who knows? All right, so that means you got to meet me, okay?
If we're we will.
All right, Germany,
we have a fight
UK,
or something.
Yeah, you meet me, okay? All right. So
yeah.
What's your thoughts about this? The too much tedium, too much scope creep?
Yeah, it boils down on the person who plays it. I actually like to do stuff myself, especially in a game they kind of promised to do as much immersion as possible. Well, this is a part of the immersion. Also, now the bigger ships have also a downside. It takes a long time to fill them, and not just like you have a slider from left to right and you full, and you go off. So the smaller ships have really a place in the universe. I think that's a big thing and a change and a mindset people have to take. And a scope creep. I think there's like a couple of real scope creep going on, and one of them is the ability to land anywhere on a planet. First of all, it was only like in Starfield that you had like a cinematic, and that's it.
Right.
But
can I stop you there? Because some people may not know that. I'm glad you mentioned it. A lot of people don't know that when this was originally pitched, as you said, we were only supposed to just land at maybe a couple landing zones, and that was it. The technology didn't exist to be able to land anywhere, right? And that did open up a whole new aspect because they said we'll get to it later, right? If I'm remembering correctly, Red Baron, it was going to be later, right? Okay. So go ahead.
It was a pipe dream still.
Yeah.
But that's fortunately for us, I think, was happening anyway. So that's the scope creep where people rather not think of, but is still very nice to have. The other scope creep is I think the caves that came in later as well. So I think that's one of them, and every scope creep will delay the whole thing, of course.
Yeah.
But I think you have to, if you look at the longer term, it will give us more of Star Citizen gameplay in all. So we might not like it now.
Yeah.
Because we want it now. Let's be honest, 10 years, for some maybe longer. You want to play the game.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And
Let
for
me-
some people, the patience will drain, and that's where it comes down to.
Let me ask you a question then, Red. Let's go back to the example of which you mentioned about the landing zones, right? If CIG stumbles across, or in their process of development, create something that maybe they didn't think they'd be able to do, but now they can, right?
Yeah.
Now, mind you, that it wasn't in any of the documentation. They didn't talk about it, but all of a sudden they're now able to do something that they originally thought within their, within themselves internally. We'll get to that eventually, or maybe they've even told us publicly. Eventually the game will grow to that point, but right now we want to get the game out there too. If they come up with something, for example, like the landing zone piece, and I'm not saying either way, I'm just asking, should CIG keep it on the back burner? Should it stay on the table and they present what has been given, what they've told us first, and then release it later? Or should they release it? Because releasing it obviously is going to have impact on the game. It's obviously going to impact the game. I mean, and like you said, sometimes it's easy to say, well, scope creep. Like, I'll give you an example. When this new vehicle came out, the STV, we had on our show last week, there was somebody who said, well, why is it crucial to put that thing out? It doesn't do anything. It's a nice little vehicle, but it doesn't seem like it lends anything to the game. There are other things that we need to have in the game that we've been waiting on for 6 or 7 years. So should CIG, when they make that Steve and it's ready, the STV, should they just keep it and don't even put it out because it will impact development? Or do you feel more comfortable with saying, yeah, it may slow us down a little bit, but that STV now adds something to what we have already? Where do you kind of land in that?
Okay. We have this beautiful example called Elite Dangerous. They did it after the fact. For example, the space legs. And they had to rebuild quite of their game engine, and it didn't went so well for them. So I think patience is a virtue. So we have to wait, and then the puzzle will be better than if you do it afterwards as an afterthought. People will notice and see it's not as well done as if you integrate it into the system at all. In all. So I think that's actually the better way to take. It's not the most nice way for us backers because we want to play it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
For the Steve, I want to add for the STV. I like the name though. What people came up with, the Steve. I think it was something to get someone into the shipbuilding, the flow.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a test for someone, and that's why they put it out, not as something else. That's what I think. Same with the coffee guy on RCorp.
Okay.
Remember? It was also someone's first time to do this, so he could get into it. Yeah. And I think the Steve is nothing else.
Yeah.
Than that.
Okay. Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate your thoughts. It gives us something to think about here. All right, buddy. Bring you up here.
Welcome.
Thanks again. All right. Let me put this here. Give me 1 second, guys. I want to bring Red Baron and put him back up here in general. Give me 1 second. Thank you for mentioning that. Who was it that mentioned it? Drowse. Thank you. Give me 1 second. I think my alerts are not doing what they're supposed to do. Here, let me grab this. No, it's not there. Yeah, for some reason my alerts got deleted out of here. Doggone it. Okay, I'll see if I can get them in. Thank you, Strauss, for mentioning that because I didn't notice that they weren't there. Okay, let me bring Pops in space in, and Pops can give us his thoughts, and I'm going to work on that while he's talking. Pops, you there?
Yes, I am.
How are you, ma'am?
All right, I'm fine.
Good,
fine.
good. So, what are your thoughts on this? Too much tedium, too much scope creep. Any thoughts?
Tedium scope creep. Oh, wow. I think in part, I think he's trying to rush the game out.
Okay.
This is going to be a game of for longevity.
Mm-hmm.
If you put the game out, he should think of this. If they put the game out without, let's say, all of the systems and things like that, and add them on later, people are going to come in the game, they're going to play the game for a few months, and then they're going to leave. You're not going to come back into the game because they put the detective game work in. But if it's there when it's there, it's going to be more things for you to do at the beginning. I do believe they're going to add things on after the game is released. Obviously, exploration is going to expand and to keep expanding. But I think we're going to get more creatures along the way, different solar systems, different lore is going to come about, different gameplay is going to come about. But you need to have a wealth of gameplay when it launches. So when it launches, you're not going to be able to, it's going to, let's say it may take you maybe a year or two before you get to touch on each and every gameplay, because the main Space Tomato said it correct one day when he called reputation is going to be like it's going to be like a currency. If you think of reputation like a currency, as you build it up, it's going to become more and more valuable to what you can and cannot do and open up. So if they don't have anything for that in the beginning, it's going to be a waste. Okay. So that's kind of my feeling on it. Don't rush it. Don't rush it because Mama got more stuff in the kitchen cooking.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it, Pops.
All right.
Thank you, man. All right. Let me bring in Admiral Kusanagi. Admiral, you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts? Do you think that there's scope creep? Is there tedium? Are there things in the game that you actually get tired of doing after, because he says after like 10, 20, 30 times? Do you think there's an argument there?
I think doing the same missions, like the bunker missions and shooting those people down there, is a little bit too much. That's why I kind of got into, and I originally got into mining, because it's different. You're searching a different area. You're looking at different rocks. It kind of keeps you busy. It really is. You're trying to find that right now, Quantanium. And sometimes you might be like, well, you know what? I'll just take this Agricium because I can. This isn't a bad run. So, but in terms of that quote, he says, like, for example, I haven't played since 2020 with their crashing every 15, 20 minutes. And so he sees things have gotten better. But if you're not really, keeping up with what's going on, I feel like if he's talking about, just buying the ships and that's how, all the ships that we've had in the past have started to come out. And we've gotten to enjoy those ships. And yes, some of them have needed upgrades over time. So it's not like they don't commit to their promises. In fact, what we've really had is they've actually gone above like what they originally told us. And pretty much everything has gotten more complex. And this is a universe simulator. So I kind of think that, he's not going to get bored in the future when this thing comes out. Now, we all know it's going to come out after the Squadron 42. But I kind of think that, and it'll be interesting to see how complex that system is in an RPG. But for the PU, I think it's going to be a lot to do. And just thinking about it, like, what's the point of playing the game if I already bought the ships? And he's missing the point of like creating, a game around, like, you can make an outpost, and it's just going to be so much more involved. And I don't know if that's because the person isn't looking stuff up, or he's basing it off of other games like Eve or Elite Dangerous. It's like, well, if I already have all the ships, you know, and they're selling all the ships, why should I play the game? It's like he just doesn't seem like he gets that. And I that's the kind of way that I'm looking at it.
Okay. I want to go back to something you said earlier, because I don't think that the reference here is about, like you said, like the bunker missions, for example. Those are just in place to get some form of PvP, you know, PvE going in the game. And we know that it's going to be much broader than that. I think he's talking about game design. For example, I was in chat or in the Discord last night, and one of our guys came in and he said, hey, he was very frustrated with the whole thing of going down to Orison. He was like, I can't believe we got to travel 100,000 clicks to do this and blah 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 blah. Now here's what became interesting. I was just sitting listening. Then one of the other people in the channel said, well, you know, they're trying to design the game with this balance between realism and this is a gas giant. In order to go into a gas giant, you can't do this, that, and the other, so blah blah. And when the person got through explaining, the person said, wow, I feel like a complete idiot now. I didn't realize that they were actually trying to do stuff at that level. It's actually kind of cool. Now I feel dumb. That's just from a simple explanation. This person went from raging against the extra 2 minutes he has to fly down to Orison, to understanding the method behind the madness, right?
Yeah, and people think it's a bug or something like that. If they look into, and you know, we talked about the Galactopedia on Thursday night, and I was like, you know, people should really start reading this stuff, because it's really good information to figure out where they're looking at and like how they're putting this thing together.
Right. And they should.
It's so good.
They should. But I think that there's other more rudimentary stuff that this person's going to beyond the scientific explanation of travel. I think they're referring to something as simple as taking the trams. Like, is that going to become too tedious? Because he says here, I think that a lot of players and devs should really sit down and think, is it actually fun? Or is it obnoxious to have to do it 10, 20, 30 times down the line? And there are people that I hear bark about taking the trams back and forth. Now, don't get me wrong. You and I both know that the game doesn't stop here, right? Eventually, hopefully we'll have our own bases and places we can stay, and you'll be able to get into your ship much quickly. But we know that that's down the line. But are there things in the game right now for you that you feel like is either tedious, or do you feel that CIG has gotten onto something and just went crazy with it now because they came up with this thing?
I have talked to people that said that like they hate the length of the trams, and I know it's going to get longer because the new, you know, what is that, the Lorville patch? The new Lorville is going to make it even longer because the city branches out even further. So you could maybe even double that or triple that time. Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. But
that's okay. We're just talking about the tedium, you know, doing stuff over and over again. Yeah.
So I just think that the people are just going to have to, like, it's not going to be everywhere. Like Stanton is it takes so much time to do things, but like Stanton is super populated. It probably has, most systems have like one location, and we've got like 4 almost. We get what, 1, 2, at least like 3. Yeah, I think major locations are 4, and actually 4. Yeah, it was all the systems. Yeah, so we have 4 locations right now, plus all the other locations to do stuff. And like Pyro's only going to have that one space station, and maybe a couple refueling stations if we're lucky. I really think it's going to be a lot less. But yeah, I just think that the person really has to like broaden their mind on what the game is going to be, and kind of like what there was already said. You know, it's just that, yeah, that we weren't supposed to land everywhere on the planet. We're supposed to just go to, like, down a, you know, this little route and like land in that one location on the planet. So I think this game has just gotten better over time. It's like, you know, they started 10 years ago, like, oh, it's 10 years old, we should have the game by now. It's like, well, we also, you know, it's 2022. We should expect the game to have XYZ now, because it has to increase. It has to move with time, so that by the time it comes out, it can compete with other games out there. And that's what they're doing. And it's trying to be the best game it can be when it comes out. And if that is until 2026 or 2028, it's going to be the best game of 2028.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
Cool. All right, Admiral. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okie doke. All righty. Let me give some shout outs real quick. Drows, I want to give you a double shout out. Thank you for letting me know that the alerts were in some weird zone and not working. So I want you to tell you appreciate you. I heard you subbed, so there's Whammer.
Hey, thanks for the subscription.
Thank you for that subscription. We do appreciate that. I want to give a special shout out to, there was somebody else, Chooch, thank you for the 1,000 bits, man. We really appreciate that. And last but not least, Agent 1213, thank you. One of our people who's been around for a good little while now also gave us 5 gift subs. If you guys got a gift sub from Agent 1213, y'all make sure y'all say
thanks for the
thank
subscription.
you for the subscription. All right, thank you guys, appreciate that. All right, we're gonna bring one more in, then we're gonna get on to our next topic, and that's Fist to Face. He's waiting in the room, so let's bring him in. Fist,
hey,
how are you, man?
All right.
Good.
Okay, so I'll jump right in. So here it is. For me, I would like to first start off and say this. All right, I think I get where people's coming from, you know, as far as all of these features, and features add up to time, and time adds up to patience, and, you know, people's patience, I get it, wears thin. I mean, I understand, you know, the game has been in development for quite some time. But for me, my outlook is this. I think I've learned to stop using the outlook of Star Citizen as a game versus a simulator.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think of a simulator obviously, you know, has all of these features, has all of these steps that you have to do that simulates what it would be like, you know, in real life. So do I look at it as a negative that they're putting in all of these features and things like that? No, I don't, because it adds, like I said, these layers to the game, because I look at the level of detail that they're putting into this thing. I mean, like you said, just think, you look at how the way they've done mining. I mean, we thought mining was just going to be complete when we had, consumables. Boom, it was like, mining is complete. Bam. Then they came out with the, I forget, the handheld units you can put on the rocks, you know, in that next phase. So you look at the level of detail, the level of intricacy that they've put into this thing and into those gameplays, and that makes me think about, well, man, what are they going to do with exploration? Because if they put that level of detail into that, and they put the level of detail into the 600s and all of these other ships and stuff like that, you know, those gameplays that I, you know, really want to do for enjoyment, like I said, the exploration, wow, really what's going to happen with that? So let me
ask you a question then. Do you think that the problem is that we assume that we know what the scope is? Because what I'm saying is this. The PTV may have been always supposed to be in, but we assume that they just pulled it out their butt and decided to throw it in the game. So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying there's this blur between CIG's transparency, right? And so we think that maybe because we never heard about it on ISC, we never saw it on SCL, if all of a sudden it comes up, this was feature creep or it was scope creep. Maybe it was on the freaking whiteboard back on 2015. You see what I'm saying?
And that's a big problem, because again, when we talked about this last week, I believe that whenever you have an open alpha, it generates, unfortunately, the byproduct of it generates this kind of thing like this, because it generates this kind of thinking with people. And unfortunately, that's the byproduct that comes from it. You know, that folks are thinking, well, man, if these guys are transparent, then why aren't they transparent with everything? You know what I mean? So it's like, man, okay, like you said, that particular, you know, vehicle could have been, hell, you don't know, that vehicle could have been back at 2012. You don't know. You really don't know. You know what I mean? It may not have been named Gray Cat or whatever. You know what I mean? It could have been, you know how concepts change over time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it happens all the time in production. You know,
I guess maybe to a certain degree, you just said something too. The fact that when you're in alpha, if there's a time to test and try things, It's now, not after the engine's completely where it needs to be in the game has gone out to public consumption. You can always add, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying everything has to come out beforehand. I'm not saying that. But I remember when the 400i came out, they showed us that there were actually drawings of the 400i and the 100 that I think one of them came springboarded, its design springboarded out of the other ones, concept drawings. You know what I mean? And so I guess to your point, the thing that I think that we have to be careful of is that we think we know what CIG is supposed to be putting out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't know everything. We know some stuff. You know what I mean? They pull the curtain back partially. But we don't know. There's some stuff that they may want to do, but can't. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Right. Now, can I name names or situation here that has arisen from having something being transparent and it gone negative?
Not people's names. Not people's names. Nope.
Okay. I don't want to do that. Okay then. Okay. I don't want to do that then. All right. I don't want to do that then. I apologize. I just want to ask first.
No, I'm glad you did. Did. No, but I guess that's my thing. And we're going to move on to the next question, but I do think that sometimes we think that because we've watched so many ISCs, so many 10 for the chairman, so many around the verses, that we have a full picture of everything. And then when something comes into the game that wasn't in that original picture, we automatically assume that it's either feature creep or scope creep.
Right.
And I don't know that is the case. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying we also can't base it. We don't have enough evidence to determine whether something is or isn't. The one thing that Red Baron mentioned was a scope creep was CIG said, hey, you're going to be able to go down to a planet, but you won't be able to fly down there yourself. Now, when they lucked up and figured it out sooner, that became scope creep, because now that opened up a whole nother level of things that we could do that before all you could do was just sit back and watch your ship land and get out. Right. So that I'm saying that it does happen evidently, but I'm just saying some of the things that other people assume are scope creep or say are scope creep, I'm not so sure.
And I get it, but to the question, I guess it's like, if I'm understanding the question, make sure that scope creep equaling time equaling impatience from what this person is. It sounds like it, right?
No, they're saying they're saying that it's in a way it's drifting back to the same argument as feature creep, that the game could be out sooner. There's 2 points he's mentioning. He's mentioning about the tedium of stuff being repetitious and some stuff just doesn't change, and then the fact that he's talking about the fact that is CIG allowing scope creep to prevent them wrapping the game, because he mentions this thing at the game. He says, at this point, releasing the game would hurt the bottom line. Now he's inferring that if they put the game out, they're making more money keeping the game in alpha than they would be if they released it. So he says here, at this point, releasing the game would actually hurt the bottom line. Getting money. He says it, getting money. And there are some people who do believe that, CIG likes to keep this indefinite alpha thing going, because by them producing chips, it helps them continue to bring in money. But even that assumption is bad, because it's like they act like that money's sitting in some bank somewhere. It's being spent.
And I get that. I get it. I understand, because if you're on the outs, sometimes even if you're on the inside, and it might feel like that, and especially if sometimes you're on the outside looking in, you can see that and it looks that way. Because like I said, again, I've had the kind of the jaded perspective. Coming from other games that have done that whole thing of, hey, let's keep this game in this beta or alpha state, so we can never really say that it is a full finished game. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of games that have done that I've played in the past.
They have. Oh, absolutely. Early access is one of the places that a lot of people stay in.
And they'll stay in that format of the progression of the game, so on and so forth. And I can understand that. Okay. You know what I mean? That the industry kind of is pushed that way. You know what I mean? Okay. And it does put a bad taste in folks' mouth. But I don't think that's what CIG, because they are open with their finances, right?
Pretty much. Some finances we don't know. They're still a private business. They show us what they want us to see. And they show us a good amount, but that's their prerogative to do that. Let me go ahead and get going, because I still got people lined up in line here. Okay, let me get them. Thanks, Fist. Okay, all right. Let me get you know what? I got Kai and FC. Do me a favor, guys. I'm gonna ask, because both of you guys are good personal friends. I'm gonna ask you that you stay there, but let's take the second question because I can't stay on this all day, and we're way past our time for the first question, and I got to get into the second one. Okay, so please bear with me on that, and it's kind of a little on the lines here. And you probably want to comment on this anyway. So question number 2 here is from Donati, and he says, I can't help but think that Star Citizen is really running against the tech clock here, against the tech clock. So let's see what they're saying about this tech clock. I did put this one in, y'all, even though it's kind of long. Okay. He says, yes, I do know it's not a space game and a lots of other stuff. Like, yes, we are in alpha and everything that goes with it. Although SC is really beautiful, the physics and the photoreal textures from other games are really starting to take it over. This vid is the Unity engine, and he put a video in showing Unity's engine, and all we know about what the Unreal Engine can do. Environments that react to players is getting to the next level. Animations on creatures and AI getting to the next level of realism. I'm just asking if SC, Star Citizen, will take another, let's be honest, 5 years. Will the detail, physics, creatures, weather, etc. be up to standard? All I can think is I really hope that Squadron 42 gets out the door soon, and all these tools to create stuff, PES and server meshing, opens up a shitload of content soon. Because if we have to wait another 1 or 2 years just for some tech, I would think it will be too late. We can't be in some tier 0 level of alpha in 2 years' time. Not ranting, just really curious to what you people think. Okay, so I can't help but think that SE is really running the clock against technology, against the tech that's being developed. Let's bring Kai Zin in, because I know Kyle has some thoughts on this. Kai, you there?
Hello.
Hey, how are you, buddy?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, I'm doing fine. I'm sorry I had to push you on this other question, but I had to move on.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, give me your thoughts on this about the technology. You play a lot of different games. You see a lot of different stuff out there. Is it a concern of yours about tech?
Not overly directly a concern about the tech, because I feel like Star Citizen is a project that will continue to, like, when they need to, stop, go back, and re-engineer stuff that needs to be moved up. In a larger sense. So I'm not afraid that they're going to get left behind in that sense. I'm afraid, though, in a meta sense, from this guy's question or statement, I'm afraid that this could lead to yet another round of sort of delays, or however you want to call it, because Chris isn't releasing this until it's the top of the food chain. And if by the time all of their internal systems to their game development of what they want to have done is done, it looks less than, then he's going to stop and go, all right, another round of whatever. And you know that the way that these crazy geniuses work, and it's the beauty and the curse all in the same time, is then he'll have other ideas of things to do. Where I'm at with Star Citizen right now is, like, I love the project. I'm super excited. It's starting to get a little daunting, some of the, like, this is the greatest company in the world with regard to, as far as I'm concerned, with regard to things that they're going to do in innovative gaming. It's not the greatest company in the world at making a deadline or in any way projecting realistic deadlines and making announcements and then being able to stick to it.
Yeah.
So, like, where I'm at personally, I love the project. I'm not a refundian. I'm not, hey, give me my money back. Every penny that I've spent, I'm happy with it. But I've made internal markers, and I'm saying, because I'll be honest with you, last year, I thought that by this Christmas, you know, we were going to get Pyro. That's what I thought last year. And it's very clearly not here. And so what I've decided is, if we get Pyro before next or next year, if we get Pyro next year, I'm going to give them another round of money to show my support for whatever. If we get Squadron the following year, I'm going to put another round to show my support. And if we get Beta the following year, so that's 3 years projected out, I would be willing to support. But if like I just, with no offense to anything, and not asking for anything back, but I'm not giving another penny. Like I might melt some stuff I have and move stuff around if something strikes my fancy, but I'm not giving more financial support until I see next year Pyro, the following year Squadron, and maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. I don't think there's any danger at all of Star Citizen falling behind on the looks. I just think there's a danger of it needing to take more time and a major new facelift, and that worries me because these guys need to get cranking.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. I just thought of a very crude illustration because you said something about them being probably at the lead gaming when it comes to innovation, trying to, you know, create something different. And I had this conversation the other day with some people. I said, have we forgotten what it means to walk through your ship and walk through someone else's ship in the game? And I think we have. I think we've gotten so used to it. It's kind of like walking into your house. No, I'm sorry. Let me be more specific. It's like picking up your cell phone, touching an app, and turning your heat on in your house. And most of us don't remember what it was like when you used to have to run downstairs to turn the thermostat on. Most of us don't even know what it was like to go down and have to turn the boiler on. And there's a whole bunch of us that don't know that you used to have to go down to your basement and shovel coal into the furnace and then turn the furnace on. Or when you had to get up at night and go outside and get wood and throw it into your furnace in the morning because your room and your house was cold. We have forgotten, because we've gotten so used to it of how much technology has changed. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Remember what?
Your girl would send you out in the rain and snow because y'all wanted to watch a movie that night and you had to go to Blockbuster. And now, God forbid, Amazon Prime or Netflix hangs for half a second and we get all mad and pissy.
So you know where I'm going with this now, right? You get what I'm saying, okay? And I remember I was there the first time CIG showed us when they got into that constellation and they all walked on the ship and they turned the ship into, it was on its yaw turning 360 degrees and he got out of the chair and walked. Dude, I remember we just all freaked out. Now we get on ships and walk on it and don't think twice about it.
You're right.
So now the magic is all supposed to happen like that. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because the illustration that popped in my head was if you were Thomas Jefferson and you said, hey, Griff, I'm going to invent this thing called the light bulb. And next year, you're going to be able to go in your house and just flick this switch and the light bulb's going to come on, right? So next year comes and guess what doesn't happen? No light bulb. Because you thought that this cool thing that I said, here, Thomas, here's some money. If you could do this, dude, this is going to be the bomb. I can't wait. I'm tired of lighting candles and all this other stuff. And all of a sudden, the year comes and there ain't no light bulb. And I think that again, somebody jokingly put in the thing spoiled brats, but I think we have become spoiled brats.
You're right.
I think that what we're demanding, which is a vision and a dream of something that most of us have always wanted, and also we know we've never seen in any other game, but then we want it on our time.
Right.
Now, I'm not trying to make excuses for CIG. I'm just trying to be practical
and
about
I respect that.
Innovation. And I'm not aiming this to you by any means.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to be practical. You mentioned that word innovation, and it's stuck with me because we have not had, and I'm going to say this last thing, and I'm getting my other people into the chat because Kai, you'll understand when I say this. George Lucas was asked when he saw the last 3 Star Wars movies, what did you think of them? His commentary was not about whether the stories were bad or the acting or anything else. He said there was no innovation. If you go back and look at all the stuff he did before that, he changed the way films were made. He didn't just make pretty films, but he literally changed. Industrial Light and Magic changed the way films were made. And that has existed now for almost 50 freaking years. You see what I'm saying? Changing the way things are done is what has lasted. We've had tons of movies that have come out and come and gone. In fact, tons of movies that have used ILM's technology and have come and gone and people have forgotten about them. But ILM is still there. You see what I'm saying? And
100%.
And so I'm wondering if we really want to build the beast that we really want. It's not just about the freaking game. It's about the support of a game that will exist 10 years, 15, 20 years, maybe even when I'm gone. People are still playing Star Citizen.
100%.
Now, whether that's going to happen or not, I just believe that's what Chris is trying to do. And for that to happen, there's no model, there's nothing done historically in game development that we can go back and look at and say, look at how they did it. See, they did it. No, there ain't nothing. Because the closest thing that people were squawking about was Elite Dangerous. See, they got their engine going and they got their game out and they had the exact same vision. And you and I both know what's happening there right now.
Oh yeah.
You know,
and I could not agree with you more on all of that. And I love you for saying it. But if this time next year we're still sitting here going pyro when,
oh no,
oof, that's going to hurt a little.
No, listen, I agree with you 100%. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be progress. Because in fact, one of my things is if you want to give because you see progress happening, because you do feel it. But if you get to a point where you feel like, man, ain't nothing happening, dude, don't give them no money. I'm gladly say that. Because I feel like the only time I do, it's not because I see some great new ship, but it's a culmination of what I've seen over that year that says to me, is this game moving forward? We've had you and I both know, we've seen failures, hurdles, all this other stuff. But do I continue to see progress in the game? Yes, I do. Maybe it ain't Squadron 42, but we're going to go on. I'm going to let you go because I've been preaching too long and I've kept you too long. Thank you, Kai. Appreciate you coming in, bro. All right, let's bring Red Baron in and then we'll bring Pops in. Red? You there?
Yes, I'm here.
There he is. Okay. Yeah. Any thoughts about this technology clock? Do you think that they're pushing against, all this new stuff's coming out, right? Unreal Engine 5 is coming out looking good. Do you think that's going to be a threat for CIG or CIG going to be able to keep up?
We can even, to World of Warcraft, they upgrade their game engine as well to the somewhat modern standards. And I think that will happen over the years with Star Citizen as well. So from that aspect, no worries at all, actually.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Sometimes I know, Star Citizen is known for its visuals, right? It's known for really it looks beautiful, right? And he mentions this in some of his things about the animations and stuff. But there are other games like, let's say No Man's Sky. When No Man's Sky first got presented, I didn't like it. Because I like the ultra realism thing. I didn't like that created fantasy kind of cartoony look. I really didn't, right? But then once I started playing it, I started looking at it more as it being stylized to what they were trying to do. They weren't trying to create, the real universe. They were trying to create a universe, but it was the universe they were creating, right? So when I see those weird animals walking around, I don't see it and say, oh, that's not scientifically possible. You know what I'm saying? I know they're creating their own world. So, and they're happy with that animation. You get what I'm saying? People are happy with that. Do you think CIG needs to worry about competing with Unreal Engine, or do they need to just worry about doing their thing? And people who like it, they like it. They don't like it.
I think they should do their own thing, like you said, because they set their own standards and what they want to do. They will take their own amount of people into this game, which they want to have in. Same goes with No Man's Sky, Elite Dangerous, or any other space sim we have out there now. Everybody has their own genre they want to play best. And I think, Star Citizen will call upon a lot of people who want to do different aspects of the game. Some like space trucking, some like combat, some like FPS, and so on. But I don't think the game engine is so much a real problem as soon as they tackle this server meshing problem. I think that's the only thing I think we should be worried about, and anything else what comes after it, not so much.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, Red Baron, thank you, man. All righty, let's bring in Pops in space. Pops, you there?
Yeah, yes, I am.
Yeah, what about you? What do you think about this? Are we chasing the tech? Will we be having to be the latest new thing and compete with Unreal Engine or some other engine that comes out? Or do you think CIG's doing okay as far as keeping up?
Yeah, I think it's a valid question because it came up to me when they had the episode of what was it, ISC, and the gentleman mentioned ray tracing. He said then after the gen, they're going to be able to work on ray tracing.
Okay.
Path tracing is the newest thing. It's more in-depth lighting than ray tracing. Ray tracing is a reflection type of thing. But what we don't know, what we don't realize is that path tracing, even though there's no games out, is not new.
Mm-hmm.
Ray tracing, when it came out, was not new. It was something that was out years before that. So I am quite sure that CIG has its ear to the ground, and they know. They go to places and they know things that we don't know. So I am quite sure that they are preparing for different things right now, today, that we don't know about.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's my two cents.
And there may be some dynamics of what is urgent, right? What needs to come out now, right? Because I'm sure when you add ray tracing and some other things, it can get a little bit more complicated. I remember when they were going through the whole thing about particle effects, right? And you know, they told us that they want us to be able to be VR at some point, but right, is it necessary now at this stage? Is it necessary for us to be in VR? No, it'd be nice, but what other things would that open up, and other issues that would happen and that put attentions to that right now? It's not time to do it. You know, it's not time to do it, right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
So
good, Pops. Thanks for bringing us a little history there about the ray tracing too. Thank you, man.
Okay.
All right. Last but not least, let's bring in Admiral Kusanagi. Admiral, you there?
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to ask this question then. So we all know, or recently found out, that the Amazon Lumberyard is no longer a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they do offer, I guess what they call open 3D engine, and they can migrate Lumberyard from there. Is that, I haven't heard anybody talk about that. Is that,
well, you got to remember, Lumberyard was the acquisition of CryEngine's piece, but you got to remember that Star Citizen uses the Star engine. They have their own variation of it too. It's a licensed piece. So I wouldn't put so much work or emphasis on what Amazon's side of it is, as much as what is CIG's licensed side of using that software is.
But when we had it, Amazon would roll the servers up to what we needed, right? For the, like if we had a heavy server load, then Amazon would just kick on other servers.
It's just servers, right? That's just their servers and stuff, right? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And so again, you got to remember too, I mean, CIG's ultimate goal is to reduce us down, right? Remember the whole thing with the shards, right? You know, everything's regional and everything else, but eventually it'll be a matter of, I mean, it's still going to need, you know, because, you know, right now everything's being transferred to cloud-based, right? That's the idea of what they're trying to do. And eventually trying to move everybody into this massive, whatever they want to call it later on. And it's, I still don't know how they're going to do the technology on that, because there's a physics dynamic of how fast the speed of light and things can move. From people I've watched and read and heard, they know that CIG can do things on a regional level with no problem. The question is global. That's the issue. And globally, you may not see any problems when you're doing, for example, rock mining. You know, that you may not see an issue. But when you're doing something like FPS, you may see the issues at that point, because of how fast things move with physics. So I don't know how they're going to work through this whole thing with servers and everything. This person's talking about technology more from the cosmetic level, it seems like, that they've been talking about, because they talk about the look of the game and they compare it to Elite, and they talk about how there's the collision and things like that. CIG has already showed us, in fact, that they want to do. Remember they did that thing where, remember they showed Admiral, they had all the ferns laying on the ground and they walked through it and we saw the collisions where the ferns were moving. So we know CIG is doing that. And you've been around long enough to know that CIG has gone back and done new lighting passes, new graphic passes, and updated the look of stuff. So I mean,
yeah, like Lorville is going to be completely new. It's the newer code, and Lorville was created with the old code. So I mean, they've had to, like, I think this post is talking about, like, and I think, you know, Kai might have mentioned, is like how often, how many more updates do we going to need in the next, you know, if we go to beta in 3 years or 2 years, that's something different. If it takes us another 7 to 8, you know, they're going to have to repolish every system, every planet, everything that's in the game. So, is that a concern? I guess so, but again, as long as it's, I don't think there's any doubt that the game is going to come out. I really think it's going to come out eventually,
right?
And they're going to push Squadron 42 part 1 certainly to come out. I don't know if we might get to 2 or 3 before the PU comes out. That's the big question I have, because they are making 3 separate games, which many people don't know, and then go from there. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Yeah,
absolutely. Good point.
Thank you.
All righty, thank you, Admiral. Yeah, thank you, Cyberwolf. Yeah, the servers are not really the issue. Like you said, that stuff it's there. It's interesting because I had a whole nother conversation with people the other day about Amazon and whether or not, being under Amazon is the thing to do and using their engine versus them creating their own, so on and so forth. There was a huge discussion about it. And it's a discussion that's been had 10, 20 times over the last 10 years. So it's nothing new. All right, last but not least, let's bring in Fist, and then we're going to move on to our next topic here. Fist, you there?
Hey, how are you?
Okay.
Okay, so I kind of chime in on this one because actually I've been dabbling a little bit in Unreal Engine and Blender and all of those things. One of the things, though, that I think that when I look at CIG, when we look at CitizenCon last year, when they displayed, and actually, and I think it was an ISC that they talked about their tools. So their tools, from what I'm understanding, are in-house. It's their own tools that they've created,
right?
Their own engine. I know it's based off of Crytek, but it's still their tools. So when you talk about fidelity of the game to come in years to come, their tools can adapt. That's one of the things that you have that's a plus on that side of things. Like if you're constrained to Unreal Engine,
you got to wait on them to put out stuff.
You got to wait. Exactly. You've got to wait till Unreal Engine comes out with Unreal Engine 6. Now here's the catcher. Can you port all of your assets from Unreal Engine 5 to Unreal Engine 6? Now you got to think about how much time then you kind of have to think about all the complications and problems, because I've seen projects of the workflow where people have gone from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5 and there are issues.
Yeah.
So being that they have their own tools, like I said, I'm gonna keep it short, that is a plus.
It's an advantage that they have. Yeah, that's true. Because all in-house, they can do what they want to do with it.
Exactly.
Right? Okay, good point. All right, Fist. Thanks, man. Have fun with that Unreal, brother.
I'm trying.
Okay. All right. That's good stuff. Yeah, you guys are putting some good stuff in chat, talking about the Open 3D and Amazon and all that stuff. And of course, it's something that we pay attention to because we know that there's a relationship there between CIG and Amazon in relation to the game. So yeah, good stuff. All right. Let's go change the tone here. We're going to shift our gears a little bit. We did open up talking about this at the beginning of the show. In the IAE trailer, many of you all saw it, came out yesterday. We have at the end, in memoriam of Jax McCleary. Does that mean that he didn't survive Pyro? Did CIG really kill the funny guy that was Jax? Please, CIG, let him live. Jax, give us a sign you're alive. If he's dead, he will always be in my, I guess supposed to be heart, not my hearth, because I don't think they're trying to burn him up. May our Lord Pico be nice to him. He was a good guy. Okay. That one was put out by, who put that out? I thought I did it here. Oh, Matt Corporo. My apologies that I didn't put that name in there, but Matt is just brokenhearted about this whole thing with Jax being dead. And I guess what I want to ask you guys is, what's your theory? Last time we saw Jax was last year at IAE. He jumped into a Misk Odyssey and said he's going to go see what's out there. And you guys have been here. You've heard me say, oh, they're going to bring Jax back either at CitizenCon or IAE. And he's going to tell us, he's either going to show us Pyro or tell us about Pyro, or he's going to lead us into Pyro. And look at what CIG does. They say, he's dead, Jim. So I would love to know what you guys think. What do you think? Is Jax dead? Should Jax be dead? All right, let me bring in Kai Zen, and then we'll bring in Red. Kai, you there?
Hello.
Yeah, so what's happening, man? Jax, is he dead? What's the scoop?
Well, here's the thing. You're talking about a half a second screen grab off of a 30-second teaser trailer for an event that's coming up later in the month. This whole thing is sizzle reel. This whole thing is building hype. Now, there's a couple big possibilities. Yeah, I sent you that one. I literally sent you that screenshot after when we were talking about it. All right. So, one, CIG screwed up hard, and they thought we're going to be ready with Pyro for next year's IAE. So they teasered it up with him shooting off, and now they got egg on their face and this, that, and the other, and whatever. I honestly don't buy that one. I don't that's a thing that you've heard going around the community. I don't believe it. And it could be option number 2, which is there's other stuff going on. There's some master plan that we have no idea about.
Okay.
Or it could be option number 3, which is where I would put all of my money right now. If I was a gambling man, which when I drink, I am.
Okay.
Option number 3 is this is all a huge misdirect. Jax is going to fly. He is right now sort of quote unquote missing, presumed dead. So they're going to do like a in memoriam service. And remember in all the old Bugs Bunny cartoons where you're having a funeral for the dude and then the dude walks up behind y'all and goes like, hey, what's going on? Who died? I think Jax is going to come back in some big flashy something at IAE. And he's going to be, and I've got this. And there's going to be some big sizzle reel, some news, probably, an idea on Pyro, maybe a this, that, maybe like a really cool 5-minute something film of him flying around and something. But I think this is a huge misdirect. And I think CIG is playing it up to get everybody riled up. And everybody, whatever, and then they're going to come with some big, flashy, showy awesomeness. That's my guess. That's my guess.
Okay, so you're one of the ones who says, he ain't dead.
Here's the deal. He's not dead off a teaser trailer. He's dead, like, if IE comes around and we get all kinds of whatever and there's a story, okay, fine. But I'm not assuming anything until I see it. I'm just saying if I had to put money, it would be that this is a misdirect to a big PR boom thing.
Okay.
That's my story.
All right. That's the story. He's sticking to it. Gotcha.
He's hanging out with Elvis and Tupac. I'm out.
Bye, Kai. All right. Let's bring Red Baron in. Red, you there? There he is.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Is Jax dead? Is Jax gone?
No, I don't think so. I think Kai has it almost correct.
Okay.
What I think is going to happen is he is lost in Pyro.
Okay.
In his beautiful cat killer, let's call it this. And he is lost there, and he's sitting there for a rescue. And he's coming out, and they lost signal. And I think in the end, his sidekick is gonna go rescue him in a different ship in Pyro. And next year in Pyro, they will meet there at his carry killer. That's what I think.
Interesting. Let me ask you this, Red. Is there a possibility that CIG is building something around this for us? Not really terminating the character, but I always my feeling was he was going to come back and he'd say this is what I've seen in Pyro and kind of show us, right? Because he took the Odyssey, which is the exploration ship. But do you think that maybe we may get to Pyro next year and find out that Jax is alive?
That's actually what someone had just mentioned. Is like he got lost and he got found by the bounty merchantman.
Okay.
He got sold back to the television folks. Yeah. That would be something. That would be so funny.
That would be something. You're right about that. Okay. All right. Thank you, Red Baron. Appreciate you, bro. All right. Let's bring in Pops in space. Pops. Where is he? There he is. Pops, you there?
Yeah, yes I am.
Yeah, talk to us. What you think, man? Is Jax gone?
They said in the commercial they got some surprises.
Okay.
I speculate. Since we did get our first glimpse of this, he's gonna come flying in on a Zeus, or past everybody on the Zeus, and I'm just hoping.
Oh my God, a Zeus!
That maybe they have it on the showroom floor. Not to get in, not to do anything. Maybe we can just walk by the Zeus, you know.
Wow, boy,
yeah.
that's a pretty ambitious thought there, Pops. The Zeus, the Zeus is old history now. He gonna dig up a Zeus and come back in style. Is what you're saying, huh?
Hey, why not?
Come back with a
Surprise
museum
everybody.
piece. You'll come back with a museum piece. Okay.
Exactly. And I do want to mention this. Astro Historian has a great lore that they put out on the Zeus. It's about the haunted Zeus. That's all I'm going to say. It's a great lore story. If you can, go check it out.
It is. It is. Okay.
All right.
Great. All right. Thank you, Pops. Boy, oh boy. All right, listen, don't forget, you guys can click on the link, and if you want to come in and talk with us and share your thoughts regarding some of the things we're talking about, the link pops up every once in a while. Feel free to come in. We're going to bring in Admiral Kusanagi. Admiral, you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So is Jack's demise, is he gone?
No, I just think he's missing, and there's a reason he's missing. He doesn't need to be out there and needing to stop and get fuel because he can make fuel on his his ship.
Odyssey. True.
His Odyssey. So this is a self-reliant. So they're kind of selling that you can go out and everyone will think you're dead because you just go on your own. So if he comes back, he's coming back in the Odyssey, and they'll be like, hey, since he's back in the Odyssey and he put his rubber stamp of approval, we now will present to you the Odyssey in its finalized state. So I think that is probably more likely than anything else, especially coming back from another ship.
It's funny you would say that because if I'm not mistaken, this year MISC is second to last with presentations this year. RSI is the last manufacturer. And we know that the Odyssey, like you said, was revealed last year. It would be kind of a interesting thing if it came back. It would be, for marketing's sake, it would be ridiculously good for the Odyssey, right? Because there was a lot of weird feelings about the Odyssey last year when it came out. Some people were excited about it, some people weren't. Some people were like, we don't know what it does. But if Jax were to come back, I'm saying this only because Agent 1213 said he's going to show up in a flight-ready Odyssey.
Right.
Now that would be freaked out. That would, if they come back and put out an Odyssey this week, that would, because remember, we saw it in Gray Box. I'm not saying it's ready, y'all. I'm just saying we saw it in Gray Box. But
and he's gonna be like, you guys got to check out this system Pyro because it's way crazy in there. He's gonna talk all about it or whatever. So it's I kind of think it's gonna be an Odyssey, power play by Sig.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
Thank you, Admiral. All right.
You're welcome.
All right. Let's bring in. We got two more here. These are the last two. I'm gonna pick on this one. Let's bring in FC Fast Cart. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Hey, what are you gonna say about Jax?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Ty for the most part. And when I saw that trailer and I saw the last bit, I was like, wait, what? Is that a mistake? I had to watch it again just to make sure that I saw it correctly, because we ain't heard nothing about Jack dying or anything until the teaser. So, yeah, I'm agreeing with Ty. I think it's a misdirect. But I don't think he's going to spend all of IAE gone and come back like next year. I think they're going to resolve that story this year. And typically doing IAE, CIG like to do two ships. I think this year one ship is going to be Drake, the Corsair from Drake, and that's going to be on the first day. And then on the last day, whatever that last manufacturer is, they have a ship too. And this year that is missed. So either it's the Odyssey or some other ship that no one has heard about.
We're going to talk about it in the next segment because the next segment is on IAE, but they actually show two ships. One of them they show is the Drake, the Anvil Pisces. They show the emergency medical one in the trailer. Then they talk about the fact that the CEO from Drake is making an announcement, and they show him looking upward and a ship is coming down into the center. So we know that Drake's probably showing something because it wasn't the Corsair. It was an entirely different ship, something we don't know about. Now, there were rumors about a different ship. We'll talk about it in the next segment. But RSI is the last manufacturer. MISC is the day before them. So like you said, there's room for them to, if they wanted to, bring it back. It would be huge. No, it's okay, but it's still MISC is toward the end, though, is my point. And Drake opens. You see what I'm saying? So you've got that second thing that's coming out. I mean, usually they put out something small like that Pisces, right? And then something kind of major. But we already knew the Corsair was coming out. So
Yeah.
it'd be
Okay.
interesting to see.
So you're saying that's not the surprise? Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
was
still-
wondering
yeah.
what that red ship was, but I couldn't really figure it out. But yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see.
So it could be that Jack could be coming back on one of those. That's what I'm saying. I don't think we'll have a whole year to wait.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thanks a lot, FC.
All right.
Let me bring in Jade here. Jade is here. Haven't seen Jade in a little bit. Hey, Jade.
Hello.
How are you?
I am good.
Good. Are you not crying no tears over Jax? Are you? I don't. It doesn't sound like you get your tissue out or anything. I don't know.
Well, I think you may actually know my opinion about Jax. So, I think he had an amazing career. And he was a very, very likable personality. And I just want to, pay my respects and say that, he's definitely missed in the community. However, this is the perfect opportunity for the IAE to go in a new direction with a new host. And I really feel that Jax himself was really not feeling it anymore, and the whole routine had become tired. So, will I miss him? Not really. I was never the biggest Jax McClary fan. The whole Top Gear ripoff thing, I just felt it kind of undercut the CIG narrative team's rich lore. They've created these celebrity characters that are from the Star Citizen universe. So why basically model one after somebody, the Top Gear guy, whatever his name is. I didn't even know what Top Gear was until, I heard people talking about it in the context of Jax. But I just think, there's people that have, different celebrity shows and things like that Star Watch Live. They could get one of those hosts for that and, model them, 3D model them like they've done with Jax. Perhaps a new, younger, fresher perspective. I don't know. I just feel that it's a perfect opportunity to go in a new direction. I don't think he's coming back. I know a lot of people, feel like, oh, this is just something where he's going to come back and either this year or next year. No, I think they're really done with Jax, and maybe people just need to come to terms with it.
It could be, and my only problem is that this is a setup for something. Now, whether that something is something new or something in the sense of Jax coming back, because obviously them putting it at the end of the trailer was deliberate, right? Because if they wanted to nail this whole thing totally, they could have just. Because here's my question I've asked Jade: how do we know Jax is dead?
Because usually when something says in memoriam,
no. I'm saying in game. How do we know? Who told us?
Oh, right.
You see what you're saying?
So we could verify the death.
Exactly. And that's
or
why
it's an Easter egg, like the Benny hinge that we come across in Pyro.
Now you get what I'm saying. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm saying, how do we know he's dead? And so, and again, they dropped it at the end, right? So it's that flash at the end. First of all, it's to pique our interest, right? To get us saying, okay, whoa, what do you mean Jax is dead, right? That's the first thing. Secondly, they could play this so many different ways. They could play this into the fact that we find out what happened to Jax when we do go into Pyro, right?
Yeah.
That could be a whole nother aspect of it. Then there's still the aspect of, will they do something with Jimmy, who's the younger, right? Who came up under Jax, or like you said, something brand new, But I think we do get the idea that there's a reason why this is here. It's just like okay, Jax, it was great having you. There's something more that I think CIG is going to hopefully build into the lore and gameplay that makes us go and find out what's going on. Maybe you'll even find the prototype ship that Jax had.
Oh, right. But I was thinking it sounds like the perfect opportunity for one of those new investigation missions.
There you go. Right. All right. Yeah. So possibilities, right? Possibilities. Yes. Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks, Jay. Good perspective on that. All righty. Let's go ahead and bring in this last section here, and we're going to get ready to wrap it up because we're back on time. This is cool. You guys saw this
for the biggest Whitley's Guide IAE special yet with
what happened to my video?
Exclusive looks at all your favorite manufacturers, Drake CEO and an Arden, plus surprises and announcements you won't want to miss. We'll see you there.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy! I tell you, what a video! That was unexpected. I don't think anybody really knew that was even going to come out yesterday. Because when I heard about it, I was like, what? You know, I was like, I didn't even know they were putting out a trailer today. But anyway, we see some things here visually, right? We see that they show us the Corsair, which, by the way, I've never been a Corsair fan, but that paint job on that bad fella looks good. That gold trim, it looks like it's gold trim with black. I'm like, wow, that actually makes the Corsair look good. But I know there are a lot of Corsair lovers out there. But the Corsair looks good. They also show us the Vulture, right? We see the Vulture in there, which is another ship that we know is coming out. They show us the Scorpius. We see the Van Duel ship there, the Blade. We also see that red ship that looks like it's the Pisces. I mentioned that earlier, and we had heard rumor that there was going to be a medical variant of that ship. And yeah, I mean, there's quite a few familiar ships there. We're going to be back on Microtech, it looks like. Okay, back there again for this. So my question to you guys, let me bring my questions up. For those of you who want to come in and share on this one, this is kind of more to get your input. Who is your favorite manufacturer? Okay. What is your favorite ship? Okay. And are you going to buy anything? Okay. So there's the schedule on the screen right now. Okay. And if you want to come in and share with me real quick, you can just answer those. Or if you don't have to answer all three, but if you want to, you're more than welcome to. So I've got Jade already in. I'm going to bring her in and hear her thoughts. Jade, what is your favorite manufacturer, your favorite ship, and are you going to buy anything?
Right. Big shocker. My favorite manufacturer is Origin.
No.
Yeah.
No, not
I have to
Origin.
make that confession.
I thought you were going to say Gatak. Oh, wow. You threw me off completely there. Okay.
Gatak. Gotta say it like a Jiang. Will I buy something? Yes. I saw that medical Pisces and I'm like 2 or 3. And what was the other question?
Your favorite ship overall.
Oh, my favorite ship right now currently is the 400i.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. That's become like the standard bearer for a lot of people, the 400i. I'm still a little, I'm not surprised that people like it, but I am surprised at how many people I've heard say that that's their go-to ship now. I'm not you, but because I know you're an Origin person, but I mean, just other folks who didn't deal Origin before, Go Mob, a lot of people who just all of a sudden now they like the 400. Okay.
Yeah, it's very, very useful. And, you know, I think people are warming up to the Origin aesthetic. I think they're starting to understand what luxury means.
Okay. All right. They're digging it. All right. All right, Jade. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. All righty. I think the next person that jumped in was Red Baron. Let me bring Red in. Red, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, my friend. Your favorite ship manufacturer. Who would it be?
Okay, else can it be as RSI, guys?
You're an RSI man, following after Chris Roberts, huh? Okay, okay.
Absolutely. The guy who makes the Bengal Carrier, the Polaris, the Perseus. That's all kind of nice ships.
Yeah,
Plus
nice
the
ships.
Scorpius, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Nothing to sneeze at.
What is your favorite ship? Out of all the ships, what's your favorite ship?
Including the ones who are not out? Or only the ones who are out?
No, anything.
Okay, the Bound Merchantman.
Banu Merchantman. You're going to make Fastcart happy with that answer.
Yeah.
Okay,
if you look at the Origin, I mean, Bound Merchantman just destroys the 890 jump. Let's be honest.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to even get started. Okay, and let me ask you a question. Are you, for this IAE, are you going to buy anything? You're going to melt something? Is something you always want to get? One of these new things? Are you going to buy anything?
I really don't know. If I'm getting anything, then it might be in CCU tops.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right, Brett.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
See you later.
All righty. Let me bring in Kai Zinn next. I'll bring in Kai. Kai.
Hello.
Hey.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Favorite manufacturer.
Favorite manufacturer, there's 2 answers. There's the one that I tell everybody, the one that I want to be identified with, the one that I love in my heart.
Okay.
Drake. They ain't too pretty, they ain't too proud, but they're like the Marine Corps. They get it done. And then there's the ones that I actually truly lust after, which is Crusader. I wanted to not love Crusader, but every Crusader ship that I see just makes my pants tight. All right. And then my favorite ship, the ship that I will never buy for cash, because this is my ultimate goal
Okay.
to Star Citizen. When I get this ship, I know I have one Star Citizen, and that is the 890 jump. That is the one that when I get that 890, I will have, like, that's it. I've reached the pinnacle of the, like, I don't even care if a year from now they come out with the, the 1090 and it's the whatever. The 890 is the one that represents to me all things luxury. I'm retiring on a yacht and I'm just going to sail off into the sunset, and me and Jax will be out there in the unknown.
Let me ask you a question.
All right.
Crusader.
Yes, sir.
Has been catching us off guard with this new release of ships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Drake just showed us on the trailer the
Mm-hmm.
CEO talking and pointing up to the ceiling, and something's coming down.
Hey, you're gonna ask me now. So here's the thing. They will absolutely get my money so long as one of the announcements at IAE is pyro.
Okay.
And if it's not,
Okay.
then I'll see you next year at IAE. I'll still be here. I'll still be a fan, but the money does not leave the pocket until I'm in pyro.
Okay, I'll buy that for $1 then. All right,
All right,
Kai, you
brother.
already knew where I was going. Thanks, man.
Love you. Be well.
All right. All right, let me bring in Pops in space next. Pops, you there?
Yeah, yes I am.
Yes, sir. All right, who's your favorite manufacturer?
Oh, you already know this answer.
Oh, you gotta tell everybody. I ain't gonna say.
Okay. Banu.
All right, Banu
All right.
man. All right, okay. And your
Yeah,
favorite
and
ship?
And that's because of you. You started it.
Not me.
You and Colossal. Yes, you did. You and Colossal.
Okay.
And Fast Card. So
Okay.
y'all are to blame.
All right.
All right.
And of the Banu ships that we know about so far, which one is your favorite?
Oh, you know that answer too?
Okay, go ahead.
Merchant Man.
Merchant Man. Okay, another Merchant
Yeah.
Man vote. Okay. And
Mhm.
are you considering buying, melting, anything like that during IAE?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most
Okay.
definitely. I already have it planned out. You
Mhm.
know, I have bought ships that I'm definitely wasn't keeping,
Okay.
like the Inferno.
Okay.
And yep, that's my target to melt and prepared to melt.
Okay. Okay. You got something in mind you're going to buy, or you're going to wait and see what happens?
I'm waiting to see.
Okay.
I definitely want a Zeus when
Okay.
it comes out.
Okay.
You know, just as a collector, just like my Polaris. My Polaris is just really basically.
Now, wait a minute,
collector
Pops. Don't start no rumors
Mhm.
now, because ain't nobody ever said the Zeus is coming out. The Zeus is a ship that was out a couple hundred years ago. Now, ain't nobody ever said the Zeus coming out now, because people would be
It's
saying, yeah,
coming.
we was on Soul Citizens. They said they putting the Zeus out. Like, no, we did not say the
It's
Zeus is coming out. Oh,
Take my
Lord.
word for
Oh,
it.
Lord. Oh, Lord.
I ain't
Okay.
got a word, but take it.
All right, Pops. Thank you so much.
All right.
Too funny. Good googly boogly. All right, let me bring in Fist to Face. Fist, you there?
Yeah.
Hey, what's your favorite manufacturer at IE?
So I'm gonna throw down here. Mine's is RSI simply because they hold dear to my heart.
Okay.
Baby.
All right. And your favorite ship?
The Orion.
Ooh, big boy.
The Orion.
Okay, the big boy.
That's
okay.
no, that's not a boy.
Yeah.
That's Betty right there. She
Okay.
ugly, but that's Betty.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay.
She make that money though.
All right.
Mhm.
Awesome.
That's how I look at it.
And are you planning on buying, melting, or are you just hiding that wallet this time? at IE?
Oh my gosh, Fit. Oh my goodness, Griff. Listen, I've been really personally, I've been really disciplined.
Okay.
Crusader came out with those ships. I liked them. I looked them. I said no.
Mm-hmm.
Pops, on the other hand, I couldn't say too much. It was like, damn.
Yeah.
You ain't even can converse with a brother, but like, holy crap.
Okay.
Like, man, but no, I'm trying to be disciplined because I'm looking at equipment that I need to get.
Okay.
So I have to say, look, either
You got
this
some
or that.
reasons, right? You got some reasons. That makes sense.
Exactly.
Okay, some real life. I
Exactly.
understand. Real life is real.
And
It's not like the ships ain't gonna be there, so that's fine.
right,
That's
exactly. You're exactly right.
That's fine. That's fine.
You
All right.
know,
I appreciate
but the
it,
price
brother.
might not be the same. That's
All right.
the
Well,
problem.
hide your kids, hide your wallet. All right. You know where that goes
There you
from.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Later, man.
All right. Let me bring in FC. All right. Fast card.
Hey.
Hey. Tell us, who is your favorite manufacturer?
Yeah, so I've been here for 8 years. It changed quite a few times on that journey. So it used to be the RSI because I like the Connie. Connie was my first physical package.
Okay.
Then it was the Mist because of the whole series. But now it's Crusader. Crusader is my favorite because they got that Millennium Falcon, the aesthetics. I really like Crusader as a manufacturer.
Okay, Crusader. That's a nice pick. And your favorite ship?
Oh, here we go. You know I got to do it the order. It's been a while.
Go ahead.
Banu Merchantman!
Okay. All right, the Banu Merchantman. All right. And last but not least, are you planning to buy, melt, or to not buy?
I've already melted some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I've already melted some stuff. I'm not planning on dropping any new money. I already have a couple of mules, so I don't need any new LTI tokens.
Okay.
So yeah, what I'm planning to get is I bought a second Endeavor, so I'm gonna get the modules for the Endeavor. Because I don't know if it's going to be a thing in the game. My plan is to like daisy chain in two Endeavors, so maybe increase the processing speed, or hopefully there'll be some advantage of having two Endeavors versus one. Now the question is, will I have enough people to run them? But I'll tell you now, I'll get rid of my Endeavors before I get rid of my Merchantman because of the size.
Okay, I got you.
Yep.
All right, man. Thank you much. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, let's bring in Star Jump Ender. Hey, it's great to see you, Ender. How are you, man?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, we're here. We're still here. Yeah, so I know IAE is a big thing for you guys over at Star Jump Station. What's your? I've never asked you this. What's your favorite ship manufacturer?
Crusader all day long.
Oh, all day long.
All day long. Crusader.
Crusader can do no wrong. Oh my goodness.
Don't say that. They do have the A2, C2, and M2, and they did wrong on that. The internals are beautiful. The externals on that ship, not so much.
I don't like them. Oh no.
That's the only one I don't like.
All right. Well, tell us your favorite ship.
It's got to be the Ares Starfighter line. It's such a gorgeous, gorgeous ship.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Okay.
I love looking at it.
Do you have a preference between the two? And I'm not talking about because of nerfing or anything like that, but I'm just asking in general. Any preference between the two?
Oddly enough, it's all because of RP. My character is all ballistic, so obviously the Inferno.
Gotcha.
Plus, I just like the sound of Bert.
It definitely delivers in that area for sure.
100%.
Okay, and last but not least, are you buying, melting, holding off, hiding your wallet? What are you thinking about?
I've tied my wallet up and I've hidden it in the closet for now. I think that should keep me away from it for a little while. Unless they really blow something out of the water this year, I think I'm gonna hold off and just sit back and watch.
Okay, so it's got to be something very, 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 very impressive for you to feel like you might just decide to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I bit the bullet and hit the Spirit right away because that impressed me. I loved the look of it. I loved the uses for it.
Yeah.
They really have to blow it out of the water for me to spend more money.
Okay, that's understandable. That's a good guardrail for yourself. It's got to be something really off the chain. I got you.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot, Ender. Appreciate you, bro.
Brother.
All righty. All right, let's bring in J2. We'll save Admiral for very last. J2, how are you?
Yo, how's it going, Griff?
Doing good, man. IAE coming up. What's your favorite manufacturer?
Well, I'm going to reverse this one on you here in
Okay.
a second, and I'm going to start with my favorite ships.
Okay.
My favorite ships have always been the Aegis ships. I just love the Aegis aesthetic, their military purpose-focused ships, which is something that I really like. But lately, my favorite ship has always kind of gone back and forth between the Titan and the Redeemer. Two very different purposeful ships, but 2 ships that I both really enjoy flying. But there's a lot of ships that I really enjoy flying. So it's a difficult question to ask. And lately, the Crusader lineup that has been coming out has really been, giving Aegis a run for their money. Ships wise, they're just everything coming out of Crusader is just gorgeous, and it's got like universal appeal too. It seems, I think I heard everyone mention Crusader that's come up so far.
Yeah, it seems to be favorite.
Everybody loves these Crusader ships. They're just you can't hold them down. But as far as the manufacturers themselves go, my personal favorite manufacturer has nothing to do with their ships.
Okay,
it has to do with their CEO.
Okay,
all right. I'm calling Consolidated Outland and Silas Koner, because that Astro McConaughey gets me hyped, boy.
I can understand that because it's definitely blatantly there, right? I mean, right off the back, the McConaughey thing.
It's so right there in your face, and it's beautiful the way he does it too. He's got, that Pioneer ad is still my favorite CIG video ever.
I will agree with you. It is amazing.
It is just, the only thing that holds me back from Consolidated Outland is they have such a small, offering.
Yes.
They got it recently with the Mustangs now having cargo capacity on there. I've been spending more time in my Mustang, I got to admit, and I do like the ship. And the Nomad's not a bad shape either, but that's all we got right now. We'll eventually have the Pioneer. But until we see more from them, that's it. Consolidated Outland is the manufacturer that I want to see more from the most.
Okay.
So put it that way.
I'm digging it. Okay, yeah, but I'm gonna have to go with you on the Consolidated. That speech is. That presentation's still good. Even now, you watch it now, it gives me shivers.
It really
with the whole
is, man.
Pioneer
I'll go for a while.
It is so cool. It is so cool.
Yep, I'll go for a while and kind of forget about it, and then someone will mention it, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, let me go watch that." And immediately, I'm all hyped again. It's so good.
It is. All right, J2, thanks a lot, man. All right, last but not least, Admiral Kusanagi. Admiral, you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, my friend, give me your spiel here. Your favorite manufacturer.
As a cross, I think between I like the interior of Misk a lot, but there are parts of say Anvil that the Carrack line is that I really do think is a great ship, and everybody uses it, and so that's going to be my top ship. I think is going to be the Carrack, and it does a lot. We don't even know its full capabilities because of those large bays, which are going to be modular. So it might have some, Caterpillar functionality with that. So we really don't know yet.
Okay. So, favorite manufacturer is.
We'll stick with Anvil.
Anvil still.
And I also want a large ship. Waiting for a capital ship.
Okay, so, you're still hoping for the Anvil cap, and it just keeps coming up too, right? Because with RSI and with RSI and with Aegis, you would think that Anvil would have one, right? I mean, I'm kind of just surprised that they didn't, that they just haven't used that. Maybe they've got their reasons for it. I know there's always been the question of whether or not Anvil will put out a cap, but I'm hoping that they do. I personally hope that they do. I know there'll be a lot of sales for it because there are a lot of people who like Anvil and would love to see them put out a capital ship. Okay. All righty. Well, thank you.
Next question.
Did we get them all? Oh no, we did two.
No,
right?
we didn't get them all.
One. I'm sorry. Are you going to buy anything? Are you going to melt?
No, I don't. I don't melt anything.
Okay.
I try not to melt anything.
Okay.
That's funny. I try to when I purchase something, actually, I be very specific. I only bought the bomber for the new Crusader ship.
Okay.
I didn't buy the other two because I was like, do I need this? SCU. I know I already had that with the Taurus, so I don't need that ship, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very optimistic on Drake, even though I guess I have the Vulture. But the only time we've seen a CEO do one of these before has been for the Pioneer. So it was this groundbreaking thing that just kind of rattled the community. Wait a minute, we can build bases. So to have a CEO go for Drake, kind of introduce a new ship is extremely interesting. So if it's under like $500, I might buy it. Because I was thinking about the Pioneer. And so if it's, I mean, the Pioneer's pricey, so I'd rather not, throw out that type of money. But if it is something like that, then I'll do that. And I do want the Pisces medical ship, just one. I only need one. That's it.
The Pisces medical ship. Okay, you may go with that. Okay.
I think it's gonna be like a double decker. It's funny because I was in the Army. We did. I remember doing a bivouac thing where, training, and they put me in one of those medical ambulances. And dude, like the guy was like 3 inches from my face, so they put me in a stretcher, and it was like 3 or 4 on each side in the old, Humvee ambulances. And they, like, the guy was like, I was like super close to the person. I passed out immediately because I was so tired. So I imagine they could stack maybe 2 or 3 per side if that's what they want to do, or maybe just use one side. It'd be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they do this medical version of it. Like, what is its? It will have a role similar to, I'm assuming it's going to have a role similar to how the Cutlass Red is, as an alternative. But it's so much smaller. You know what I mean? It's so much smaller. I'm just curious to see how
they are going heavy into medical gameplay, so much more. Like, to need this ship, like the people using these red pens to heal ourselves, or the green gun or whatever. I think it's going to be like, if you get hit hard, you're going to have to drag you out of there and get you on a ship like this to get you someplace that you can get serious medical attention. And I don't know what the FPS people are going to think about that, but they really need to think of future of like where they're heading with medical gameplay.
That's a good point. Okay. All right, Admiral. Thank you so much. Alrighty, gang. Wow, we chopped our way on through this. Thank you guys so much. Wow, we covered a lot of ground here. IAE is a month away, and matter of fact, it's less than a month away. Wow, we're going to be it's going to be upon us really, really soon. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging out with us today. We do want to let you guys know about some upcoming stuff that's happening. Tomorrow, Soul Citizens is doing once again a charity benefit fundraiser. We are going to be doing the radio play for the radio play from Lux Radio Theater, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Some of you all know it's a classic science fiction film. I'm not referring to the one that Keanu Reeves did, because that one definitely was not classic, but it was based upon the original film that was done in 1951. We are going to do the radio reenactment of that from 1954 from Lux Radio Theater. And we have some really cool people that are going to be in the cast this year. We're going to have Girl in Pigtails. The Q is going to be here. Sigillion's going to be here. Verity is going to be here. Buster the Destroyer is going to be here. A whole bunch of folks are going to be here tomorrow, plus some of our members from Soul Citizens. So hopefully you guys will be able to come join us. But even more, it's to raise money for Gamers Outreach. Many of you guys are familiar with them. They provide games for kids who are in hospitals, that they have something to do while they're there. So last time we did it for St. Jude, and you guys helped us raise $2,000 for that. And so this time we want to be able to hit that same mark. We're starting at 1,000, but hey, it would be so cool if we could raise $2,000. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell people who just want to come. If you got some grandparents and stuff, they'll probably want to hear it, because they grew up listening to these old radio shows, and they'll probably get a kick out of it. But hopefully you guys will be able to join us tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time, for us to do the radio play, the reenactment of a radio broadcast for The Day the Earth Stood Still. So hopefully you guys will be able to join us for that. Don't forget also, today is Podsat Saturday. This is the day where we are part of the Podsat team. I think I have it in here. Where's my Podsat thing? My Podsat thing didn't pop up, Fast Car. Why didn't it pop up? It was supposed to pop up. Is that it? There we go. There's Podsat Saturday. I don't know why it's so small, but let me make it bigger for you guys. I want to make it important. Podsat Saturday is today. Once you guys leave from here, we send you over to the man himself, Astropub, Paul Shelley, for the Astropub show, which is at 6 p.m. Eastern time, even though he's on right now. You guys can hang out with him. And then after that, he sends folks over to the guys at Relay, who come on at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So you get a whole Saturday, a whole sloth full of nothing but Star Citizen information and good stuff to talk about with good people. So we are going to get ready to prepare to do our raid over with the Astropub. I want to thank everybody who stopped in and hung out with us today. Thank you guys for sharing. Everybody who was in chat, those of you who are on YouTube, I wish we could raid and send you, but we can't. But thank you guys for hanging out. So there was a good group of people there. And hopefully we'll see you guys on tomorrow evening. Join us. Join us for the radio play, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Take care of yourself still. Stay safe and peace, love, and soul. See you guys soon. Take care.